Click your seatbelt in.
All right.
I do like this green room.
Say wow.
Well catered.
Yeah, well, it's the least I can do for my guests. So I officially, hopefully, we're in the green room. I can't.
Mm-hmm. We are in the green room.
Okay. Whew. For some reason, tonight's show was extra not easy. I don't know why I'm having so many difficulties with the technology involved, but here we are in the green room.
Technology.
Because it's haunted.
Now that it's October, there are ghosts abound. So, since we're in the green room and nothing really is going to happen yet, I wanted to get a lay of the land. And now that I'm not going to introduce you, obviously, because it's the green room. But give me your, what's the number one candy you looked forward to during trick-or-treating?
Oh, probably Snickers.
Boring. That's it?
Well, Snickers, Reese's, pretty much anything chocolate. I mean, I was happy with whatever I got.
So was I, because it's free candy, and it's one of the best things. Halloween, rather, is one of the best things you can give to a child. I was always a caramel guy. I was never a chocolate person. All these chocolate people all over the place, don't get those people. Sugar daddies, that was my jam. Even though it threatened to pull out my teeth every time I enjoyed one, I was into it. Hook, line, and sinker.
I don't think I ever really had a sugar daddy. I don't ever remember getting them in my trick-or-treat baskets. I always loved getting Three Musketeers, Reese's, and Milky Way were my three jams.
No, you want the caramel. Holy crap. And here's the thing. Not to, dunk on something for false advertising, but I felt like I was falsely advertised too, because I love the sugar daddy. It was just, a big ass piece of caramel on a stick. And I love that because I love caramel.
Oh, it's on a stick?
Yeah.
Huh.
So then someone's like, have you had sugar babies? And I go, sugar babies? What are those? They go, the person telling me lied to me too. They go, oh, it's little tiny sugar daddies, but fruit snack size. I go, oh my God, this could be love. And they're not.
Oh. What are those?
They're essentially caramel flavored jelly beans. It's not little pieces of caramel that will pull your fillings out like the daddy does. The babies have far less enjoyable.
Those are the ones in the little boxes, they come in dots form, right?
I don't know
in
if I call
boxes
them
like
dots,
that.
but they're they're jelly belly size.
Right.
Such a bummer.
I was just looking at it. I was just looking it up. I remember my best Halloween ever was Halloween 1994. It was pouring down rain, and all the other kids stayed home, and my sister and I were getting all the candy because no one else was out because it was just raining like hell.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's the time to do it.
But I never had an issue with Halloween. It was always... we didn't live in a small suburb. It wasn't an apartment building on the edge of town. It was we had all the neighborhoods. We were near a school, and the rich neighborhoods were right across the street. So when we, were ready to give up the ghost of all the closed houses, we'd run down to the Groves and get those full-size chocolate bars from all those foolish rich people.
I've said this before in other Halloween shows, but I had a 5th grade teacher who happened to live right up the road from us. And I was only
slaughterhouse.
It was, yes. I was only allowed to go trick-or-treating for 3 streets.
3 minutes.
3 streets from my house.
Oh, wow.
But she always had full-size candy bars, and it was glorious. I always loved going to her house because she'd give us extra ones if we were her students.
Yes, sons of bitches. And that's the thing. If I, were of the right age bracket, I would probably buy full blown. But now, with the economy and inflation, these prices, guys. And what
not
about traffic?
In this economy?
In this economy, not all these kids in this neighborhood deserve them full-size candy bars either.
That's the thing. I feel like some days you just gotta everybody needs a pass. I don't know, because that's the thing. I don't want to spend my holiday divining who the shitty kids are and giving them less candy. It's just one of those things where you turn into one of those fat Buddhas with a sack full of toys and you just give it to all and sundry and worry about the shitty kids' lives the rest of the 364 days a year.
I guess. Part of me
I remember Go ahead.
wanted to give out like little shots for the parents. But like we live in a neighborhood now where like half of them are Mormon, so I feel like it would be like
that'd be a terrible idea, like handing out alcohol to just like strangers.
Yeah. People do it all the time. Jello shots are a huge thing in neighborhoods.
Yeah, P.S. Number one, like friends and family, whatever, I'll give free stuff to. But random yahoos, that's the thing. They ain't kids. They don't deserve my quality products like Kit Kats and whatever. Knock yourself out, you fucking little ingrates.
Yeah,
not my booze.
We've got so much of it.
Oh, of course. That's why I'm keeping it for all the friends and family. I don't want to give it out to the random yahoos. All right. Well, tell you what. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Listen to this.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Welcome to the show. My name is Dave. This is FFOP Radio. It's the first week of October, which means it's time to start really unlocking Halloween. Because I'm not going to be one of those people who, like, you know, as soon as Halloween's over, we start talking about Christmas. I wasn't going to start, like, sullying September with October's woes, or, you know, vice versa.
Sure.
I don't want to do that. Like, October, I already feel a little like one of those entitled 20-something girls who like, oh, it's my birthday week.
Oh, yeah.
Shut the fuck up. That's what I got to say to you. So anyway, it's FFOP Radio. Krista, my co-host and producer's right there off camera.
Yellow.
You heard him in the green room. You can see his picture right there in the corner of the screen. We got Ryan Maxwell back on the show. What's up, Ryan?
No, not much. But speaking of birthdays, mine's tomorrow.
Ooh.
Right. So that's the thing. Ryan, you know, this is a early birthday wish. So that's the thing, FDO. I needed a long ass thing, so there's so many moving pieces right now. I can't get into it. However, what we're doing here is a special request by Ryan, sort of, because he handed me this batch of clips. It's commercials from 1985 to 2016.
Wow.
So we've got many commercials. It's only about 17 minutes of raw footage. So I figure we'll just go through it, see how things change throughout the years, and see exactly when shit falls off. Like, aesthetics-wise. Because, you know, if we're going all the way to 2016, like somewhere around like 1999 to 2002, it's going to start looking and sounding very shitty, I bet.
Probably.
I mean, if I had to guess. I'm no doctor. Anyway, that being said, this is our, again, first week of Halloween. I'm going to get more and more festive. I've got some costumes and maybe some masks and stuff that will show up later on. But anyway, let me get
What kind of footage did you say this is?
Say what?
What kind of footage did you say this is?
This is the
Raw.
31 years. What, footage?
Raw.
It's raw.
What's that?
No, rubber. Oh, and also, like, so another thing, like the years of the commercials show up in the little corner there, but I'm going to be blocking it. So I'll just tell you what year we're in, and we'll break it down from there. So let's jump right into some nostalgia, starting with those horrifying 80s. Don't worry, we're starting halfway through them.
1985.
Year I was born.
You kids.
I wasn't even a sparkle in my mother's eye.
We've got costumes for all Toys R Us kids, even grown-ups, and loads of candy make.
Okay, so I was scrubbing through this earlier, and I was like, I can't believe how many people in the 80s were just like, goodbye, 3 to 10-year-olds. Good luck trick-or-treating alone while your dad and I, like, give each other HJs under a blanket. Because, like, you back me up on this, Ryan, but maybe it's just me. But I felt like in popular culture and movies and shit, the parents are always like, yeah, go fucking trick-or-treat while your dad and I get blitzed on red wine.
Yeah, at like a Halloween party.
True.
I was never allowed to go alone.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Me neither.
We can stay out as long as my parents' will would withstand, and after a certain point, like when I was probably too old to trick-or-treating, but too young to not like. There was a point I was able to shake my parents off, but it was only for like a precious year or two.
Yeah, no, I never was.
It just felt like, yeah, run amok, kid. Like Pete and Pete, they're like, yeah, go out till midnight.
Yeah, get potentially murdered. Bye.
I mean, it was always a little safer than that, but he could have got a pumpkin for sure.
Makeup and more. Toys R Us will make your Halloween supernatural.
Should we wait until they were gone put in the costume?
Scared silly, starring Ronald McDonald.
Well, that's the thing, Jameson. And you might not necessarily have to be old to have had that happen.
Mm-hmm.
You might just have to have had parents who, were either confident in their ability to raise kidnap-resistant children or something.
Or you just like your parents just felt like they were in the neighborhood where you could do that.
Price participation may vary, but you might also be old.
And
Still
McNugget. Ronald, nice to see you in this neck of the woods. Come on. What are you making? We're stirring up secret sauces for dipping.
We're ready, boss.
Let's make sauce.
Oh, well, at least I got my hair done.
I have an idea.
This is such a crazy commercial for so many reasons. Like, the Paul Lind voice.
Why are they doing...
Say what?
I was going to say Ed Wynn, but yeah, Ed Wynn.
Yeah, like it's like there's I don't know, the 80s and 90s were so weird because there were so many things holding on. I feel like we don't have that as much anymore. Like the 90s was in love with the 50s, and I feel like the 80s was a little bit too. And like the amount of celebrities that, because maybe just culture moved slower without the internet, like having a Jimmy Durante voice or like a Paul Lind voice on like a McNugget commercial feels like today that would be a huge misstep.
Yeah.
Like, because how many kids like 4 or 5 years old eating chicken nuggets are like, yeah, that's a Paul Lind chicken nugget. He was a talented, like what?
Idea. Whoop-de-doo, McDonald's sauces. You can always count on them to be terrific. It's a good time for
P.S. Like Ronald just rolls around with 2 open ass, like dipping sauces. It is, where were they? Like he walked in on a situation where these nuggets' only goal is making dipping sauces. He's like, "Hey, how'd you like your size kicked in the dick? I just had 2 open ones in each pocket." A Pauly Shore nugget.
In the laboratory of Dr. Frankenstein, something incredible was created. The great taste of pure milk chocolate and delicious peanut butter. Unfortunately, no one would listen. And so the world would...
Okay, there's so many things wrong with this commercial. Like, let's just start with the obvious stuff. Like, why is Frankenstein pink? Like, he's regular old Flintstone colored.
Yeah. They didn't have a budget to make him not.
Well, like green, like they gave him makeup. Obviously, he's got bolts in his neck. They made his head big. They could have been like, yeah, like he looked like he never even died. and the conceit of this commercial is like peanut butter and chocolate go together. But like here we are, Dr. Frankenstein and fucking Fritz are just like, nope, get that out of our faces. That's fucking insane. He just died. Well, this isn't just one dude, you realize. Like Frankenstein is an amalgamation of a bunch of people. Like he was pieced together. So to say like, yeah, this one guy just died and they put a new brain in him, like what? It's ridiculous. It's Halloween's
The world
rude.
would have for the 2 great tastes that taste great together in Reese's peanut butter cups.
He would have to be like preserved in honey.
A really fresh corpse.
Yeah.
There's no way though. Like it would be like for Frankenstein's monster to look that fucking fresh. He like Dr. Frankenstein would have to be driving in his like little Volkswagen Beetle with Fritz in the back seat, and they just come upon like a bus accident, and he's just able to like run through and pick all the best parts before anybody shows up. I don't believe that shit. Preserved. Yeah, this thing he can be preserved in honey because that's a natural like never-ending. You know, there's no shelf life for honey because nothing can grow in it.
You wouldn't know anything about honey.
I would know nothing about honey. I am. I can't believe how much like static and like VHS and mechanical hiss we put up with back in the old days.
Dr. Frankenstuff reveal my greatest invention. Serve, Gregor!
A hot dog?
Take a bite.
Wow, there's real chili inside. How'd you do that?
Oh, dear.
Or to juicy Hormel franks and stuff them so with rich Hormel chili.
That looks like diarrhea.
No. Oh,
but yeah, no, right. Hold on. I pumped the brakes there because I want to say whatever, like the 80s and 90s were the Wild Wild West of food and drink possibilities. It gave us Crystal Pepsi and all these other crazy things. And my cousin was in love with the hot dogs that had cheese in the middle, and I thought they were horrible, disgusting hobo food. Had I known they had dogs with chili in the middle, I might have been turned around on the whole shit in the middle. Because, like, this sort of, what do you want to call it? Like, this concept lasted I feel like the last major breakthrough in, like, food stuffing technology was the stuffed crust pizza, which is probably coming up on 30 years old now.
For sure.
do you remember bagelfuls?
Bagel?
Oh, yeah, they put the cream cheese in them.
Yeah, they had like cream cheese and strawberry filling, and it was inside a bagel, and you microwave it.
But it wasn't a full bagel. It was like squares of bagel.
A little stick.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I used to eat the cream cheese ones.
There are some ways in which, we have improved society, but then we get like diminishing returns. Like back before the advent of like freezer technology, we couldn't get food all over the country before it went bad. Like that was a huge step forward. And then like we got to where we could get all the food everywhere all the time. And they go, well, what if we started shoving shit into other shit? Like it'll get there just as fast, but like, and it's always the selling point, the Ronco selling point of like time management. Like, do you want a chili dog but don't have time to open up a can of Stag and heat up a hot dog?
Right.
Like, I don't know. Never in my life have I. Well, I guess now as I'm getting older and like I have a kid, sometimes I go, boy, I really like a pizza, but realize that the 45 minutes of making it is out of the question.
Yeah.
But like for most people, I feel like a chili dog isn't beyond the means.
No. That's the bagelfuls look like. And I think they also used to make a cinnamon one too.
Everything from Kraft looks like stock footage of like not real food. It's like the furniture, like the computers and TVs they put on furniture in like showcase rooms that are made out of plastic or cardboard or whatever. Fucking disgusting. Anyway, back at it.
Absolutely amazing.
Brownie stuff with
delicious.
weed. Call them dosing.
What do you call it, Master?
What else? But Frankenstuff.
Frankenstuff.
Just in time for Halloween.
Ooh, spooky.
Frankenstuff.
No,
My wiener's haunted.
no.
Ryan just says no.
Am I right? Yeah, you are right.
Type of one in the chat if you would eat that.
Hey, consider my one there spiritually. I'd eat that hot dog with chili in it. Something's up with the sound quality of this. Is this a Hallmark commercial? Yep. Oh, God. Some places you just don't associate with Halloween. I don't associate any Hallmark anything without like old people involved.
Right.
It's like having a Village Inn or a Louis or whatever cafeteria you have in your area. Like,
I was going to say they missed the mark on this pun, not just calling it a boozar.
That's another thing about it, man. Like Hallmark doesn't read like funny. It's not like Hallmark's Twitter is ever going to be like a Wendy's Twitter. It's not like Hallmark is ever going to be anything other than like where grandmothers go to get like specialty birthday cards and all the ornaments they send to all their family members at Christmas. Mm-hmm. Like I as an adult, as child, as whatever, have never thought I'll get to that Hallmark store because that's where all the Halloween shit's popping.
Yeah, no. That is like the Halloween stuff and all that specialty things that they put out is for grandparents to give to, like my grandmother used to give me something from the Hallmark store on Halloween in the Halloween basket with candy.
James says no. Booze are is where Jim Rouse shops. Nailed it. When he's not at that swingers club. I don't know, man. That's just it. It's like I love this. The Hallmark stores in with like Things Remembered or all those other stupid little mall stores that are like, you have to be 65, and if you walk in the door, like if you're under that, like an alarm goes off and you're shoved out by some white hair. Oh, that's a rough soundtrack. There we go.
Last year, one of everyone's favorite candies appeared in a...
There, now let me hold these toward the camera, and you look at the back, and...
Halloween-sized packs. And words
This is 1987, by the way.
Is this the house that gives Skittles? See, I told ya.
Word spread so quickly that one house was giving away Skittles that... And P.S., like, were people avoiding that house before? Like, there are kids there, like this house is a down-and-out burger joint. Like, it's Bob's Burgers, and they just found a really great...
I was just about to make that reference.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like that obvious where it's like, well, were they hurting for...
Yeah.
Like, what's the economy in this town? Like, the more trick-or-treaters you treat, the more... like, is this a town inspired by, like, R.L. Stein's Goosebumps?
McDonald's has a
All right, we're in 1988 now, people, so not much has changed thus far, right?
The year I was
monster
born.
of an idea. Happy Halloween certificates. A book of 10 is only $1. Your gang can turn them in for free dessert treats like cones and sample-sized sundaes at McDonald's. Each book also comes with a...
Oh, yeah, Erie, Indiana. Tragic. That didn't last hardly at all. Like, there are... Go for it.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I loved getting these McDonald's books as a kid at Halloween.
Seriously? I never got...
Yeah.
I never got any, but it just felt like one of those gifts where, like... I don't know. I'm more of an instant gratification person. Like, when my bag opens, I want to feel it gain girth. I don't want to be like, trick or treat, and then, like, feel nothing happen and go... Because I couldn't push off my enjoyment of getting that sample-sized sundae. I needed that sugar daddy, or, that kick in the dick of the sugar babies.
Do me one favor. For my birthday, just do this for me and never say, feel it gain girth again.
I will never say that on your birthday.
Thank you.
But Erie, Indiana, back to that really quick, that was one of those, like, see, the thing, being a Halloween person, I loved all the spooky shows that would come around, like Goosebumps or Erie, Indiana, because those were things that could be horror all year round. And, I've been looking for and finding very few episodes of Secrets of the Crypt Keeper's Haunted House. Are you familiar, Ryan?
Oh, God, I loved that show.
Jeez.
It was like Legends of the Hidden Temple had a baby with Friday the 13th.
Yes, it's one of my favorite.
Weird.
Like, as much as I love Legends of the Hidden Temple for all that it has done and will continue to do, for, the hearts and minds it's shown across the world, like that, the Crypt Keeper. I don't want to say the whole title again, so will be be tomorrow. But like that show was one of the ones where it was just like, I couldn't believe it was getting away with what it was at some points. Like, I don't know, growing up through the 80s and 90s and all, like the fucking wet blanket parents who ruined Ninja Turtles 2 and basically cut the balls off of anything. It was just amazing to watch a show that was like corpses and skulls and blood and shit. What a time to be alive.
With a mail-in hit for this free Roger Rabbit when you buy your video cassette of the smash hit Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
It's a smash.
McDonald's Happy Halloween certificates. A deal so good, it's eerie.
Well, I'm ready for Halloween.
And if enough trick-or-treaters don't show up, you're ready for next Halloween, too.
No way, because Laverdia's will give me full credit on all unopened bags.
I feel like I've seen this commercial a lot because this character has grown into a person of someone in my life. I don't know this man, but I feel like I've seen him in this, or because I watched a lot of Halloween commercials on the my recreational time. I feel like I know this guy, and he's one of my favorite people.
We have seen this commercial before.
I think that they're stores.
This 12-ounce bag of Whoppers milk chocolate or a 10-ounce bag of Milk Duds chocolate-covered caramels only $1.59 at all.
And he beats his wife up over a bag of Milk Duds.
Albertia Super Drug Stores.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is.
Yep.
Lavender
One of these days, Alice, bang, zoom, right to the candy.
Right to the candy aisle.
And we're in the 90s now.
Not with Easter Seal Safe Halloween.
So, this just must happen to anyone who can cash in their credibility. Like, I love Vincent Price. Everything he's ever done, I will watch and or listen to or whatever. One of my favorite, there's a, I don't know if I call it a favorite, anything. It's like my favorite horror radio drama. There's, like, when CBS was still mostly on the radio, they had a, like the CBS horror short hour. Moral of the story is Three Skeleton Key is one of my favorites. It's Vincent Price as the main character, and it's about this this small lighthouse off of French Guiana that's besieged by a deluge of rats from this ship that crashes upon their little island. And it's horrifying because since you can't see anything, obviously, you just have to go with what's going on. And like the way that they tell it, because like the ship shows up and they go, well, like ship's rats, like this huge hive mind of ship rats just like eviscerated this entire ship's crew, and it was just derelict. And they spend like days trying to fight them off. And it's one of the best things I've ever, it's radio wise. I mean, if you like radio dramas and old timey radio plays, I recommend it.
Vincent Price had his own show called The Saint for a long time on radio. It's great.
Man, like, but the moral of the story is like he took this and cashed this specific check for the rest of his actual life. Like he was doing Polaroid and VHS commercials up until like his last breath, and never did he look like he lose a step or like it wasn't like the sad like they're wheeling Bob Hope in front of a camera, even though he doesn't know where he is or what's going on for like big Kmart. Like Vincent Price was always on his game. He's like the Dick Van Dyke of horror.
Coupon, the safe treat that gives treatment.
Was Edward Scissorhands his last movie? No, because I feel like he was in something with Treat Wilson and Joe Piscopo later. But that could have been earlier. So
right. No, I think that it was Edward Scissorhands. I could be wrong. I'll look it up.
I remember, because I just remember he was in something with Joe Piscopo where like, and Treat Wilson where like things were coming back to life with some sort of machine. I feel like he was in that, and I thought that was his last movie, but I hope it wasn't, because Treat Williams, I guess you said Treat Wilson, my bad.
Halloween coupon, good for treats at stores and restaurants.
You're using two big words.
Give them to trick-or-treaters or treat yourself. Give Easter Seal Safe Halloween coupons because Halloween should be warm and friendly.
Coupon books available at area Burger Kings, NCNB Banks, and AMC Theater.
Now it's time for the Pizza Head Show. Hey, everybody! I'm done trick-or-treating.
I love Pizza Head.
So, Ryan, you and I were talking about this. I would lump Pizza Head in with Stick Stickly, with everywhere, like from Elvira as an A-lister to Pizza Face as an F tier. They're in that same industry, I would say. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I miss that. There are so few things, like even something as little as Snick. Like when I watch the little compilations of Nick at Night prequels of, you know, Snick, and it's just 4 shows. It's not like it was a huge block. And all they had was an orange couch. But even then, that was enough because they saw the writing on the wall and everything was going out. God bless Sven Gulli and whoever else, like Cassandra Peterson still doing her shit at however many years. But I miss Stick Stickly. I miss Pizza Head. All the Mr. Bill ripoffs, I miss desperately.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone does need to splice this commercial in with Jeff Sokol. Yeah, Dead Heat. Okay, 2 years before. Okay, thank you. I knew it was Dead something. Yeah, Dead Heat. Not a great movie, so I'm glad to hear that wasn't his last, because holy shit, not good.
Crust Pizza Hut! Yay!
So was his last Edward Scissorhands?
I'm just going to go ahead and say, yeah. Who said that? Probably FDO?
FDO.
I agree with him.
One more place to go. I don't think anyone's home. Sure there is. Oh, trick or treat. Interesting hieroglyphics on the screen. Pizza Head. Let's go upstairs.
Hey, who lives here anyway?
It's your host, Count Steve.
Oh, nice place. You got it. I want to go to Pizza Hut now.
The Count will be happy to give you a lift.
Oh, hey, put me down.
See you next time.
Was Steve like irrelevant, or like was like one of those non sequitur names? I don't know. I mean, I don't remember Pizza Head's lore. But was Steve like a? Yeah, right. Baked salmon.
Cutter.
Mr. Bill's Pizza Planet. Yeah, I know Steve was the pizza cutter, but I wonder, like, was there ever? Because this Pizza Head reads a little bit like me, or rather to me, like Pete and Pete, or is it a little bit like non sequitur '90s humor, or like? Do you remember that episode where like young Pete had the marshmallow Dwight Eisenhower stuck up his nose for an entire episode? And you go, well, that's random in a mundane way. I feel like I feel like Steve the pizza cutter is that. It's like mundanity taken to its absurdity. Am I getting too deep here?
Really quick.
Sure.
Speaking of Vincent Price, my best friend has an amazing Vincent Price tattoo. I just sent it to Krista. She can show it to you. I'll put it in the Discord too.
I'll tell you what, man. If I could, I would have one of those pencil thin mustaches, a la the Thin Man, a la Vincent Price, a la so many, like Clark Gable. My hair is not fine nor compact enough that I could do that. Like it would just look like not good.
Elvira here.
John Waters too. Yes, thank you, FTO.
Coors Light. It's the official beer of Halloween, and just what an adult party needs to be a howling success. What? You don't believe
it? Yeah, exactly.
Like a sign from above?
Be sure to visit this display wherever you buy Coors.
See, guys, God's a huge fan of Halloween and beer. And Elvira.
And boobs.
Yeah, right. It's just perfect for when friends go in.
Hilarious. She is still playing Elvira to this goddamn day.
It's crazy. We watched something where she was like trying to act like...
Yeah, there's like some special in 1985 where Elvira goes to Salem.
Yeah. She goes into like a gift shop and is walking around putting things in a bag, like just talking, and I'm like, this is not good.
It was so like 80s hackney stand-up, like when you see whatever, anything in front of like a brick wall where she's like, oh, you know, it felt like a non sequitur, but for the 80s it was par.
Yeah, it wasn't.
This Halloween, party with your favorite monsters during Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, Florida. And right now, carve out savings of up to $16 off
man. It's like $100 million to get anywhere now.
For details, visit a Pepsi display near you. Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. Hurry to Ticketmaster today.
That's okay. Maybe you've wondered about this too, Ryan, but probably not, because who would? I always think about the mechanical issues of things. So, like, you know, back in the 80s and 90s when they say, you know, bring in the label of a Pepsi bottle or the cap of a Mountain Dew bottle or this or that. I always thought, like, number one, how many people are doing that? Where, like, and then not just kidding, because how easy would that be just to have the person behind the thing wave them through? But like, if they had to stick to the rules, like, bureaucracies are insanely stupid. So it makes me think that, like, with the amount of money moving through any theme park, to justify all of the discounts giving out, some poor asshole is probably like peeling, you know, like flipping through Pepsi wrappers like hundreds, like a mafia boss, or like diving into a ball pit of Mountain Dew caps. RC would be really... How dare you, FDO? God damn it, it's the best cola. The royal crown of colas. I'm gonna take
I agree, I love RC.
Yeah, everybody does. FDO is just a contrarian who, you know, was apparently struck by lightning and had a bottle cap shoot up his nose at the same time, so now you can't taste or smell. But RC is one of the best colas out there. Jesus Christ. Except for Jarritos.
While you can still slash the price.
Our account eats a Reese's peanut butter cup.
1993.
It doesn't have blood. It gives me vicious diarrhea.
Like to eat the peanut butter first.
there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
What would happen if a vampire had real food? Does anybody think about that? I realized it was addressed in The Last Vampire by Vitaly Versace, but I feel like that's probably not the...
that's not the accurate...
shouldn't be the cornerstone of my theory.
Did you say Gianni Versace?
Didn't I? Yeah, what's his name? Vitaly Versace.
Vitaly Versace, yeah.
Italian
I said Gianni Versace, the fashion designer. That's what I was confused.
Oh, no, negative. Lots of Italian people sound alike, so I understand the confusion.
Vitaly's a terrible movie maker.
This Halloween, Toys R Us is your Halloween headquarters. You'll find every trick or treat under the moon. A monstrous selection of costumes and a dungeon full of decorations. At prices so low, you'll howl. So this Halloween, bring the entire family to Toys R Us for a
I love the hell out of this commercial to this very day. All the quick changes. I love anything that's like an in-camera bit that isn't done like with CGI or whatever. I love the cutaways where it must have taken time and energy, because now the more I think about watching all this stuff, all of it had, most of it anyway, unless you're using cartoons, had to be in camera. So it's amazing to me that some of these commercials having like up to 12 actors all spending a bunch of time in costume and makeup for anywhere between 3 and 5 seconds on screen. It's just like so incredible to me. So something this intricate, I feel like deserves a little nod or a tip of the head, because there's multiple costume changes and like the whole skeleton thing. Anytime there's like an in-camera IRL change, I fucking love it.
FT1 wants
So real quick.
Sure.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go first.
I was just going to say, what was your favorite Halloween costume that you ever had?
That's what FTO says. So... I don't know, man. I don't know what favorite would entail, and plus I'm wishy-washy.
Well, are we talking about as a kid or as an adult? Also,
as a kid.
Oh, none.
I think the most enjoyable one, but the least functional one, this probably fits 7 out of every 10 children across the country with a grandmother. But like my grandmother made me a costume. That was a spider, like a Black Widow spider. And it was a huge, like with the big abdomen and the whole 9. And it came complete with 6 extra appendages that hung from my arm that were all made out of like pantyhose that were stuffed with shit and tied together. And
funny you should say that. Go ahead.
I feel like so many people must have had that. Like it felt cliche to have a grandmother-made spider costume. But it was so... not before or since has anyone had anyone taken an interest in Halloween like I had, because the rest of the time my cheap ass lame ass family just passed around the same monk robe for the fucking 50 years it existed.
Now you say pantyhose stuffed with something. When I was a really, really little kid, like kindergarten, my mom made me a Popeye costume, and to create the fake muscle, she put pantyhose on my arms and stuffed them full of cotton balls so they would look like big Popeye muscles.
I see that's the kind of stuff that like grandmas do, or like any involved parent or whatever would do.
My mother made me a costume one year, and I was probably, I don't know, 10.
James, I did call the costume Dangerous Web with Stone Phillips.
I was a Christmas present.
Like, boring.
I know.
You can't mix 2 holidays. It's like if you went as like an Easter bunny on Halloween.
I know.
Just terrible.
All of my costumes, I feel like, that I remember growing up were terrible. But I liked, when I was an adult, in college and stuff, I had other costumes.
Girls can get a pass because they can just be like cute little princesses or whatever. But like, there are a couple of things you can't do if you want to take the holiday serious. You can't dress up as another holiday's mascot or... insignia or whatever. And you couldn't, you can, but like if you phone in your shit, I don't know, man. I feel like akin to all the Christians who say, you know, keep the Christ in Christmas, except there is nothing like that for Halloween. I can't say, like, keep the Satan in Halloween. I just want the legitimacy to be there. I don't want it all just to be thrown away on sexy Mario and Luigi costumes and dudes that have breathalyzer costumes where their dick is the tube.
I was a sexy police officer my first year of college, but then when I won first place as a couples award for Harley Quinn and the Joker when I was in college, because he did a really, really good Joker, and I was just Harley Quinn in the... Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. There's never a bad time. There's not a bad time, but it's never too late to get a good costume. We all eventually grow up and have a little bit of expendable income. And now, you know, what a time to be alive. Like, holy shit, you guys. When I was a kid, I wanted all the nerdy shit we have just easily accessible today, but couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, to become a comic book character, an anime character, anything, you had to basically either know someone who was a seamstress, put it together yourself with odds and ends, or you were fucked, or you had to, like, go to Party City and get those shitty ones.
Right.
Now, I feel like you can't swing a dead cat on lawn without seeing, like, screen-accurate fucking Marvel costumes advertised, or, like, anime shit. Like, back in the days... Like, I was Wolfwood from Trigun, and my buddy was Vash the Stampede, and it took me, like, months to find all the pieces to put just that simple suit together. Mm-hmm. But he dropped, like, 3 bills on a pleather Vash the Stampede coat.
Damn.
And nowadays, you could probably find someone to do it for $50.
Yeah, I got my April O'Neil yellow raincoat was, like, made for, I don't know, some play, that was played as April O'Neil from whatever. It like looks like her thing from the movies.
It's like it's such a like
I have a custom made Ghostbusters jumpsuit.
Yeah, it's so easy now. And now that that's the problem with like growing up is like when you're a kid and you have to scrimp and save and you want to like get something cool, it didn't exist. Now I've got all the time, money in the world, hypothetically. And I'm not, like, I would be seen as irresponsible if I just bought a bunch of Wolverine claws and, like, Deadpool masks and Casey Jones costumes and shit. But now I could because the high tide lifts all ships. Yeah, FDO's got this.
Casey Jones costume's got to be the easiest you can do.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty easy because, like, say he's you know, one step above a homeless dude. But, like, FDO has got a banger MF Doom mask. And that's the thing. Like, you can get things now. Like, if you wanted any flavor of Zelda sword, 3 minutes on Amazon, and you can pick from 1,000.
Right.
Like, But P.S., all the things I love are still basically obscure. Like, get an Edgar Allan Poe doll, sure. But, like, where's the H.P. Lovecraft doll? Oh, not for sale.
What a Halloween collection so huge. It's scary.
Boo.
Adults! Only a Fruity Pebbles can set my spirit free.
This is one of my favorite Pebbles commercials because it really subverts the audience expectations.
Thanks, Fred. Barney!
Boo.
Boo.
Yeah. Boo. That was my generation Citizen Kane. When he first pulls off the sheet and it's a skeleton, like, oh my god, for once it isn't Barney. It just sounds like him. And then this happens. There it is. Bam. You know, Rosebud. It was his sled.
Jameson was shopping recently and was like, maybe I need a katana sword.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, you can walk through a mall and you'd be like, you know what? I've got an extra $40. I would love a Buster sword from Final Fantasy VII hanging on my wall.
Yeah, why not?
Like, that's the thing you motherfuckers get to do now. All you nerds with all your expendable income, you get to just wander around buying all the crazy shit you've ever wanted. Like, I had to go to anime conventions and get disappointed at shit. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't get his cat, FDO, especially if they're going to put his name tag on him. N-word man.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Kellogg's Spooky Fruit Loop
There we
cereal.
go.
Marshmallow Ghosts are here.
Hello.
Favorite fruit flavors now have spooky marshmallow ghosts. They're the scariest part of this complete breakfast, but they're only here till Halloween.
Boomsday.
Then we take them off the shelves forever for a year.
I'm on my way to Pizza Hut to get a Goosebumps Kids Pack. Yay!
Almost there.
Hey, this isn't the right way.
Well, Scarecrow Steve says it is.
He's no scarecrow.
Sure he is.
Did the car fart? Like, I feel like the fart noise is making its way into like meme videos I see today. That was the same fart that I've been hearing for now 30 years. Man, that's the most famous fart I've ever heard.
Uh-oh, I think I woke the neighbors.
Look, Pizza Head, you'll be perfectly safe in there.
Okay.
It's a Liam.
Relax, the Goosebumps guys just want you for dinner. See you in the next
For
lifetime.
dinner.
You know, a lot of those guys fart psychosis. Exactly. A lot of those, or maybe some of those Steves looked a lot like the Night of the Living Dead, especially Trash. That one with the mohawk looked like Trash.
Nickelodeon Fright Fest. The Nickelodeon Fright Fest treats you to 12 Halloween.
So I missed too is like blocks of shows where all of the bumpers had like themes. Media is so fractured now, and everything's released on streaming or whatever. Like maybe terrestrial TV still does this sort of block programming, but I feel like that's something we're doing ourselves a disservice of. Like something being live, not live necessarily, but like on TV at a certain time made you value it.
Right.
And not only that, it made you value it, but it made the progenitors or the producers of that material like really want to lean into it to make sure as many people saw it as possible. So you would see like the Home Improvement back to back with the Roseanne and whatever, and see all their Halloween episodes with like Elvira giving 15 seconds of Halloween shit talk in between them.
Right.
And like what's holding all of the holidays together now if we don't have all these things we used to have?
Oh no.
Maybe that's like why there's such a push for like the Disney adults, and you know Halloween is making a comeback because it feels like most things that are crashing upon the waves of our reality are like kiddie stuff. Like Halloween's coming back. Like Christmas has always been big, but Halloween is starting to gain traction. And Halloween, I would argue, is mostly a holiday built for kids because of the trick-or-treating. Like, you can turn it into a slutty Mario party all you want. It's still, like, it boils down to the kids.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Oh, it's like the Wilhelm scream, but with farts.
Ooh, the Farthelm scream.
Halloween looks one day
FTO was 98 was his first Halloween. He was a pumpkin in a stroller. How cute.
I mean, who wasn't a pumpkin before you had the choice to be like a full-fledged human?
I was a parrot when I was like 1. Okay.
My first Halloween costume was a devil.
Nice.
I was a nerd. Like I wore glasses with tape in the middle, and they put my pants on backwards, and I had a bow tie and the whole nine.
When you were 1?
No, I think I was like 2 or 3. I didn't like I wasn't being taken like.
Or your first Halloween, I should say.
Like I was whatever one of those bags of peas before then.
Tune in today at 3, 2 Central.
We just started showing Elliot Real Monsters, and he was like super into it.
How could you not be?
Yeah.
Like, there was
he had a reaction?
Yeah. Instead of no reaction, there was reaction.
He was laughing.
There are so few things that stick with that kid. Yeah, he looks at me, he goes, Dad, reaction.
The reaction.
And I was like, nice. Real Monsters did it.
He's treating Halloween cartoons in the afternoon. Instead of seeing the regular big cartoon
When you said you were a nerd,
you'll see
FU, I thought you were just talking about yourself until describing what you meant.
Right. I mean, I grew out of the costume, but not the lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Cartoon stars in super spooky Halloween specials. Regular episodes of Pokemon are being taken to the Pokemon.
Matt, you didn't know what the Wilhelm scream was?
And regular episodes of Batman
Does
Beyond
Australia
and
not
Batman
have
Superman
Wilhelm
adventures are
screams?
being replaced with... Wait a minute, they're not being
Or wherever
replaced.
you are
Those
now?
things are always scary. It's super spooky afternoon.
really funny. I love this interstitial because they're like, hey, Pokemon, not scary enough. We're getting the shit out of here. And then they go, Batman and Superman? We couldn't find anything to replace that. It's scary enough.
Doing it.
Yeah, you're always...
I just want to say how weird it is to hear like a Boris Karloff accent say Pokemon.
I know, right? Like, it's...
Pokemon!
Like, back in the old days, it must have been very difficult to be, like, left behind or something like that. Like, imagine having, like, the voice of a 1940s film actor say the word Pokemon is something that I don't think any other generation could have gotten.
Yeah.
Like, it would be like as if a horse honked like a car, right? Because you go, well, those are two things that are decades apart, but have very little to do with each other aside from, like, the bare bones. Like, they were both pieces of media and both transportation things. But, like, having Bela Lugosi be like, Pokemon, my Pikachu, blah. It's just like walking out of your house to, like, your horse-drawn carriage. You give your horse a carrot, and he goes, burp, burp. And you go, what? Fucked.
Like, I'm picturing, what's his name? Martin Landau? And he's like, what the fuck? He's a Pokemon.
No one gives a shit for Bella. Oh, we're already in 2000.
That lobster.
It's Larry the Lobster.
I want to know what party this is. There's like no one there. It's taking place in like a gym or an airplane hangar. There's
like he's a chaperone at a kid's school party.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's a pool party?
No, a school party.
School party. But like, whose idea was like, oh, we'll get one box of donuts, we'll get a dozen rings and a dozen holes, and given the turnout of this party, I guess they overdid it, but still, like, what the fuck? Yeah, look at the turnout.
Halloween munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts. Grab some. See if you...
This is like a dollar store version of like the Tix costume.
Halloween at the orphanage, and these kids just get disappointed again.
Oh yeah, this is the orphanage where Leela grew up.
Today and buy 50 of your favorite Halloween munchkins donut hole treats.
I remember this
That
commercial.
frozen black cherries turned your tongue black. My tongue's black too.
Let me try.
Hey,
Let's have black tongue.
This Halloween.
I remember this one as well, and I go, God, how many years have I not seen The Simpsons? 10 at this point, I said to myself.
The Simpsons are at Burger King. Now in every big kid's meal you can get a Simpsons spooky light up. They gleam, they scream.
I just want to take this opportunity to say that I formally challenge you to a Simpsons trivia contest.
Whatever, bring it. I don't give a shit. Come into my dojo, like, I'm not fucking Brock. I'm not the first gym leader where you can just come in and fucking wipe your feet on my face.
He's like the Pokemon League.
Yeah, no, I'm like Giovanni. Motherfucker, you want to come in and say, I'll take you on Simpsons? Fine. Whatever you want. As long as it has to be like season 9 or before. Because I'm not going to like entertain the idea of like the trash decades that have been slowly rolling past us like the tide.
I just don't think you can stump me.
Maybe not stump you, but definitely beat you by volume. I mean, ask Big Salmon. I trashed his ass. No, that's the thing. There are very few things I feel confident enough about to mention, and even fewer that I'm confident enough to boast about. And look where we are, Ryan.
Right.
Look where we are.
They scream, and you can collect all 15.
I will murder you with trivia. I'll kick your butt at Nintendo.
At Burger King. Where else?
And now a new discovery from Kid Cuisine.
Casey, I'm open. Yes. Woo.
Is this Halloween?
Hey, over here. What is it, Casey?
Oh, here we go.
It's the new Halloween Kid Cuisine. Tasty ghost and bat-shaped nuggets, a brownie of frost with orange juice, and yummy trick applesauce.
With orange juice?
Yep.
What? And all Also, P.S. You think when they moved from dinosaurs to bats, so like they wildly changed the taste? Tasty ghosts and batshit nuggets. They call it guano, FDO.
Kid cuisine.
Oh, and this is guano for pizza.
Discovery tasting.
New Halloween kid.
Don't forget to spread on your orange juice.
Cuisine, food, and fun all in one.
You guys have experienced fun, right? You guys have experienced food. Have you ever done it at once? Maybe pick up a kid cuisine.
2003.
I can't wait for Mr. Beast, Jake Paul, and KSI to come out with kid cuisisleys.
Not so fast, Harry. I'll get your double cheeseburger yet.
Hamtaro is screaming into Burger King. Now
Aw,
in every big kids meal,
Hamtaro.
there's a
I used to
Hamtaro
watch
toy.
that.
You can put on their mask and have
That show's for babies.
Your face is for babies. You got a baby face.
in all.
If you're an adult, you probably had food
You
and
guys
fun
have the
at the same
best
time.
marriage.
At Burger King.
Yikes. Do you think the big kids meal was a step toward our ruination or a part of American inclusivity, Ryan? Because I feel like from this side of the coin, it feels like that was one step towards Disney adults, and now we're all just a bunch of fucking mopes.
I mean, I love the big kids meal, but I can understand where you're coming from.
It's just like in an effort for people to squeeze more money, because the kids are going to be guaranteed moneymakers if you can aim a product at them, because they're easy to sell to because they manipulate their parents for you. You just have to get in the door of an 8-year-old, which is like super easy. You say it's candy and they go, oh boy, I'm down.
Right.
I don't know, man. It just feels like the second we went from like, oh, is your kid too old for a kid's meal? Here's a big kid's meal. Now they don't have to like justify maturing. You don't have to stop going to Disneyland at 47 even though you have no kids. That sort of shit.
So go in the dark bags. This is the best costume ever.
I'm a pirate. No. Spaceman? No. Ninja?
You guys not agree on anything?
Treat or treat.
Nothing.
It's Halloween imperfect. Here, everyone dresses up. Candy never runs out.
Is this a
And though
Walgreens
they should be
commercial?
spooky, the pumpkins can't help but smile.
I
Of
guarantee
course,
it.
life
I
isn't
think it
always
is
perfect,
Walgreens.
so there's
Probably.
Walgreens
Yeah.
open every day, many
Yeah.
24 hours, with every.
The Walgreens is one of those stores where, like, I don't know, man. Like, they definitely
I
had.
hate Walgreens with a fiery passion.
Do you? I like. It was one of those stores that, like, growing up, I was just like, oh, you know, if there are worse places to go. Like, they had a decent candy and toy aisle, but it feels like like so many companies since then has just sort of lost their way. Like, they tried to be clinics at some point, and now they're trying to be all these things, but they're a tiny little neighborhood. Like, if I were them, I would lean into more of like the water and ice, like appeal to kids who have candy and gum money, over like the rapidly aging out of the demographic old people here to get like Werthers and Tastestations.
I really just say that because I worked at Walgreens and it's a terrible company and it nearly killed me. But
Oh, they push off a
I just
ladder
hate
there
Walgreens.
too? That was your first concussion that got ignored by a corporate entity.
No, I didn't get a concussion there. I meant like mental health kind of killed me.
Oh no, I'm sure. Like, that's the thing about big corporations and box stores is like they will blow smoke up your ass about a corporate culture, which feels just like mold grown by an LLC. But, you know, whatever. That's just me. I hate it when people go, well, you know, like, it's our corporate culture, this or that, when it just sort of fosters suffering. Anyway.
Really quick, did you hear about the new promotion from Burger King for the Addams Family?
No.
They're coming out with the Wednesday Whopper, which has a regular Whopper with purple buns, and a Morticia shake and Gomez churro fries, and a few other things.
Listen, I like my buns purple the natural way by slapping them. Okay, like whatever.
Exactly. Just ask Krista.
Just ask Krista. The problem with all that shit is like, I don't know, man. I know humans are suckers for gimmicks, but like the crazy colored food gimmick seems like so beyond stale. Like we haven't gotten to that Johnny Wiseau so bad it's good, like so stale it's fresh again.
Right.
Like back in the late 90s, early 2000s, like when Shrek came out, it was a green Whopper, a green ketchup, or purple ketchup, or this or that, and like it was like, whoa, yeah, it's so crazy because it's the 90s and anything goes. Now it's just like, guys, chill the fuck out. Like, I can't believe it. Like, because, you know, in the old days, it was buy this product and consume it because it will make you feel good. You may be fat at the end of it. You may be depressed at the end of it. But while you're using it, you'll feel good. And we moved from that along the spectrum to like health and benefits. So it's no longer like, do this because you'll feel good. It's do this because you'll gain such and such assets. And now that we've got so many people with that mindset, it's hard to believe that there are still companies that can be like, here's a bunch of food that's like the fucking Pretty Patties from SpongeBob. And there's enough people who are still clinging on to just like gimmicks that are like still making that shit float. Like, I feel like
SpongeBob.
Well, you know, like I don't know, it just feels like there should be enough people toward the other end of the annoying side of the spectrum and go like, is this almond milk organic? But like to a lesser degree where I go, well, why, how did you get them purple? Like that feels dangerous to eat, right? Like not everybody should be a yuppie, but we should all be like, this is unnatural. Like Coke and Oreos together. It's terrible.
Did you answer FDO's question?
I forget. What was his question?
For clarity, do you guys have a problem with adults going to Disney World Land completely or just when it's nonstop and it's their personality? The latter.
The latter.
Like, I didn't go to Disneyland until I was 30, and David took me there, and it was great.
I'm not against like.
Never been.
You go. Well, if that's the thing, go if you haven't been because you want to experience childlike wonder. Don't go if you have been in the last 6 months, are subscribed to a bunch of YouTube channels who tell you what all the prices are and all the overpriced shit in every fucking store is. Like Disneyland, you know, whatever, however you may feel about it, ultimately exists at the end of the day for children to escape whatever they may have in their lives to a world of imagination and wonder. And to be constantly surrounded by adults with no kids who are doing it because they're trying to harness, it just feels like
they're influencers. If you're an influencer,
no, I don't care about the influencers. Those are those are leeches. I'm not talking about the leeches. I'm talking about the people who are like they're the dance moms of their own lives. So like if you wanted to be a dancer and got fat and couldn't, you're going to push that onto your daughter so hard that she's going to hate you and or murder you, Gypsy. What people are now doing is like they're turning that upon themselves to be like, you didn't have a childlike or childhood-ish enough childhood. So now it's time to really lean into that in your 4th or 5th decade of life. And you can't. It's one of those things you just literally can't do. I refuse to believe that you, as a jaded 50-year-old, maybe it's like this, too. It's like drugs, right? Because drugs are like that.
Drugs are bad.
Your first hit of meth, you go, oh, I'm over the moon. I love meth. But by the time the magic wears off and you're just a daily user, strung out and living off of zero sleep, like that's where these Disneyland people are. Because they're there all the time. And
wearing
it's
a shirt covered in 9s, going to meet Bailey.
Right, like you're just you're just like trying to get to normal by living at Disneyland because your life in your mind has been painted in such a terrible light that you have to live at Disneyland to just feel normal. And that's the type of people who are like working alcoholics or like cokeheads.
Right.
They're just chasing that. Oreos and ketchup. Yikes. Mr. or Mrs. Baker. I don't know, man. That's not...
Baker, I hardly know her.
That's one of those things where I would accept it in the 80s, and if you were 7, Gage. Okay, so Gage, listen, I'm glad you outgrew it, but...
That sounds like a pregnancy craving to me. I mean, because I craved chocolate milk and enchiladas when I was pregnant, so like I could kind of see the...
Jesus.
But you weren't like, hey, yeah, fill this in a blender and give me that shit.
Correct. And I rarely ever had chocolate milk. I may or may not have had it when I was at work and I was pregnant, but I didn't have it.
There's some wild things. I'm not against experimentation, you know what I mean? Because like I made an enchilada sauce pizza that no one would have considered before that came out great. Anyway...
That's how I would have said your name as Gage Baker.
I'm not good
if I didn't read the
reading. Okay.
That's life. This is Walgreens.
Trick or treat.
2006. That's the year I graduated high school.
Trick or treat. Trick or treat.
Don't I know you?
Which year?
No.
2006.
So. This guy is having the same problem as our Skittles family from earlier. Like he's so unpopular. It's just the one kid with the fucking John Waters mustache. The thin man. And
I was wondering if that was what that was or if it was just like a blur on the video.
No, he's still got his
straight up mustache.
Errol Flynn stash.
No.
Tricky. Tons of Halloween costumes to choose from. Now 33% off.
Mayonnaise and jelly when he was Gage was really high one time.
Oh my god, dude! Put down the bong. At least, stop after the third hit. Nobody needs mayonnaise in their life, especially when you mix it with the horrifying substance that is jelly.
I am completely with you on the mayonnaise thing. I had a friend who was diabetic who used to put mayonnaise on their pancakes instead of syrup, and I'm like, no, they make sugar-free syrup. Be a normal human being if you're diabetic. Sugar-free syrup. Don't put mayonnaise on freaking pancakes.
Ugh.
Mayonnaise is horrible. It's one of those substances where, like, there are some things where, like, it's so bizarre you can't believe humans figured it out, but on top of that, you can't believe it also tastes really good. Mayonnaise is one of those things where, like, someone discovered it, it was disgusting, everyone told them to stop, but they had just recently kicked in the head by a horse and wouldn't be told no. And here we are.
And they crumbled up lifesavers in it?
What?
Mausoleums and morgues. They are the walking dead.
Peanut butter you wanted to try? That is a terrible idea. You need a high minder. You always have to have that one friend who either stays sober or keeps their shit together.
You in the living hell of the new Halloween haunt at Canada's Wonderland.
Canada?
Creepier, scarier, and bloodier than ever. The new Halloween haunt at Canada's Wonderland.
Not for nothing, Arizona is such a wide and flat state. We are like lousy with haunted houses around this time of year. Like corn mazes and just like acres of scary shit abound every year here.
Yeah, I don't like haunted houses, so
I hate haunted houses.
Yeah, I never want to be in one. I never want to have to sign a release that like you may have a heart attack if someone scares you the wrong way. I'm good. I'll take a pass.
You can't get scared the right way if you want to get scared the wrong way. But like, I don't know. I get why some people don't like the haunted house thing, and that I don't know. There are some industries or some hobbies or whatever that attract people of two different types. Those who like really love the ambiance and those like the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. Like some people get into law enforcement to be good cops and make sure that truth, justice, and the American way prevail, while others really want to just break a nightstick off in some poor dude's ass. And haunted houses are a place where you run into that vibe. You get the person who really just wants to make sure you're scared and have a good time versus the person who doesn't care if you get physically injured because they're a legitimate psycho. And it gets to come out when they get to be a zombie clown or whatever the fuck.
Oh, hey, fun fact. It looks like Gage and FDO know each other.
I picked that up. Welcome, you two friends.
Never dying to get in.
Canada. Come to Canada, please.
Canada.
26 Canadian dollars. It's like 16 American dollars.
Okay, it's Canada.
I'm glad, Gage. I'm glad he's spreading the word. I feel like that guy. I feel like that guy was happening a lot, and by happening, I saw him in a lot of commercials back in this time period. But again,
are those apple fries?
Hell yeah! This is probably the exact right time when like McDonald's and everybody was pushing like the healthier shit. It was right around 2007 to 2011 when people were, tired of. When did Super Size Me come out? I feel like it was a real big backlash after that.
That was
mid 2000s.
I understand that.
Yeah, that was definitely.
Never saw them made of like French fries.
I have never seen them presented like this.
No.
So it is bizarre.
Oh, and every Burger King Kids Meal and iDog toy. Each comes with its own costume. One toy per kids meal. BK Kids Meals now with iDog toys. Scary fun.
Is this also Canada again? Because that meal consisted of a bowl of mac and cheese and fucking apple fries.
Probably.
What the fuck?
2004 was...
Okay. So yeah, 2008, it would be a perfect...
Happy Halloween, eh? Have some apple.
Hey,
macaroni.
Your moose burger.
It's Halloween time, my frightful fiends.
Oh, I love this commercial.
Where's Governor Ratcliffe?
With the eerie new look of Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy and all new fireworks, Halloween time at the Disneyland Resort is wicked fun for everyone. Visit Disneyland.com/Halloween.
Wicked fun for everyone.
Trick or treat.
Yeah, not for nothing. Hades from the Hercules, like Hercules in general, I feel like was an underappreciated Disney movie.
Yeah, I don't...
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a bummer that James Woods turned into like a latter-day undesirable person, but like I feel like that shouldn't be held like Emperor's New Groove. I would hold in the same esteem. Like there are some, a bunch of Disney fucking fart sniffers love to point to like the golden age, but there are so many like latter-day, if you will, Disney movies that like were able to break out of the traditional lockstep fairy tale that were actually like really funny. And
like Lilo and Stitch. I love Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, we just showed that to my kid. I feel like Lilo and Stitch, to a lesser extent, I was kind of aged out by then. But for some reason, Emperor's New Groove hit me pretty good.
That was a good one.
Hercules can't be wishy-washy, but I think the talent's there, right? Danny DeVito and James Woods, like it's a solid movie, especially given the latter-dayness of it all. And it's still the classic hand-drawn animation, which God knows if we're ever going to see that return in like a meaningful way ever again. But like that,
they're supposed to be doing a live-action Hercules still with Danny DeVito.
I am so fucking done with Disney making live-action reboots of commercials. God damn it, cartoons. The reason why you do a cartoon is because cartoons can do things live action people can't, right. And it helps you in suspending your disbelief.
Yeah, nobody wanted to see The Lion King with actual lions.
No.
Right.
Like, stop it, everybody. And by everybody, I mean everybody at Disney. Like, stop fucking with shit.
Just stop it.
Hi.
But there's money to be made.
You guys just here?
But is there, though? Like, by the time you get done making it and the advertising budget and the 18 people who are going to see it anyway go see it, you go, well, I guess we'll make another one and see how that goes. But, historically, not great.
Here? Yes. No.
Make Halloween the most fun night of the year. Walmart has this candy for an average of 20% less than other stores.
On average.
Save money. Live
20%.
better. Walmart.
Fuck you, Walmart. What the hell is this? I feel like I remember this commercial. What is it for?
These people are hunting down FBO because he hates on ours.
What fear?
I hope so.
Fears most.
It's Rob Zombie. What?
Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights.
Including musical guests Rob Zombie, John Carpenter's The
musical
Thing.
guest Rob Zombie,
Alice Cooper. He'll take the tomahawk steak, medium rare. Fuck me, man. You know, not for nothing, but like, God bless Alice Cooper for doing his thing for as many years too. Like, he's like the male equivalent of Cassandra Peterson, like just being a spooky dude for the past 60 years. Unbelievable. Do you guys ever watch the movie Monster Squad? That shit, scared me as a kid, but now,
Wolfman has NARS.
Wolfman's got NARS. I can really appreciate it. And like, as a kid, when Pee-wee, like, because they need a virgin to do the ceremony, to open up the porthole, to suck all the monsters back in at the end, and they find out that the one chick isn't a virgin. She goes, well, that guy didn't count, and it's a big hilarious thing. And like, Pee-wee goes, like, points to the little girl. I think it's his little sister. And he goes, is she a virgin? And the German, like, concentration camp survivor is like, aha! What a great movie. The fact that he shoves a stick of dynamite down into the Wolfman's pants and pushes him out a window. You go, that was incredible. And then he pulls himself back together and just goes out running. Yeah, he calls that little girl a bitch. Like,
your mother's a bitch.
Your mother's a bitch, he says. I couldn't, he goes, give me the stone, you little bitch. And she goes, ah! Scary. Be hilarious if by the end of this commercial they're all just running naked through the streets because they keep ripping off their clothes one at a time. Their shoes never fall off.
They're naked. They're chasing a cat around.
There's Cool Whip. Great, we got away from the zombies. We got these purge people.
HalloweenHorrorNights.com.
Six Flags, guys. You should visit.
I have one not too far from me.
I miss this dancing old weirdo. God damn it.
Me too.
There were so few things that were like 90s crazy into the 2000s. And Six Flags with their fucking Vengaboys party bus bullshit and the dancing old guy. I would like... Why is it that like the world will let us keep the Geico Gecko for 35 years, but the fucking Six Flags dancing old man lasted like generously 3 seasons?
It's Fright Fest at Six Flags. Come out for ghosts, ghouls, and one screaming coaster after another.
P.S. Like for my entertainment theme park dollar, I would go Six Flags over Magic Mountain, but Six Flags, Magic Mountain over Disneyland, but that's just me. I'm more of a roller coaster person than like a get lost in a fairy tale village sort of dude.
For another. Get your discount tickets online at sixflags.com.
The old guy does feel like a little bit of a Johnny Knoxville character. Like this was a Jackass stunt that somehow Six Flags just like bought the IP for.
Six Flags. It's playtime.
Yeah, commercials now are boring.
What's
They
better,
suck.
eating your Halloween candy now or waiting till later?
Now!
Why?
Because it's candy.
And how does eating lots of candy make you feel?
It makes me feel like,
That kid should be like some sort of ad executive. That's how like Reese's peanut butter cups make you feel. Why does
One
it feel
kid
like
seems
this is
to
my
love the
kid?
Speedo Man.
Something
This
tells me
definitely
you've
sounds like
already
our
had
kid.
lots of candy.
It's not complicated. Now is better. Happy Halloween from the nation's fastest and now most reliable 4G LTE
Sprint?
network.
Oh,
AT&T.
that's it.
I told you picking him up is a bad idea.
What's the worst that could happen?
Anybody want to see a skull?
Adjective, you have excellent taste. Cheesy.
Doesn't it feel like that's the guy from that one VHS board game we played? What the fuck was that shit called?
Nightmare.
Yeah, that's the guy from Nightmare. He's gonna like scream out of the back seat every so often, go maggots, lose a turn.
Easy skeleton. bag of bones.
You know, here's the thing. Cheetos was second to none when it came to like the gimmick of shapes, because they had paws, checker boxes,
they had everything.
Curly cues, squiggles, jagged lines, anything, any shape you could.
Boards.
Yeah, exactly. Any shape you could conceivably eat cheese powder off of, Cheetos made it happen. And Twizzlers are awful. They're trash candy for trash individuals. Red Vines are for the elite. Red Vines and RC. If you drink an RC cola through the hollowed out carcass of a Red Vine, there's no higher privilege in life.
Oh, I'm sorry. Twizzlers are better than Red Vines.
I agree. I've always agreed with David. I've always agreed that Twizzlers are better than Red Vines. I don't like the weird texture of Red Vines.
Twizzler is a greasy dog turd. Like
Red Vines have a weird texture on the outside, and I don't like it.
It's the carnauba wax to keep the fucking grease off your face. I feel like every time you see someone eating Twizzlers, they have as much grease on their face as someone who eats a large pepperoni pizza. That shit is slathered in fucking coconut and or palm oil, and it's disconcerting. I don't want to eat a Twizzler or any licorice whip and come away with like shiny hands and face. It's fucking disgusting. That's why you eat a Red Vine, because it's dry. You fucking
Have you ever had chocolate Twizzlers?
No.
Why would I?
They're so good.
It's horrifying.
Because they're good.
No, they're not. What you need is like, there's some old-timey candy maker out there that does like the old-timey lemon drops and like whatever, all the crazy old flavors that they used to call candy before like science was able to give us chocolate that tasted really good and shit. But like you can get like that licorice whip style candy as like huckleberry or watermelon, and those I don't mind, even though the grease is still there. I mean, it's a little different, but still, Twizzlers is the. I don't know, man. It's a very short ladder, but like of Twizzlers and Red Vines, like who else exists in that arena? Like how many licorice?
I think like no, not even Laffy Taffy. I don't know, nothing.
Gummy bears spoiled for choice. Things that are shaped like rope, not very many.
No.
David, do you like black licorice?
Hell to the no.
Blech.
It's an old person flavor.
I like black jelly beans, but that's it.
Ugh. There are some things that, like, again, it harkens back to before we had artificial sweeteners and, like, science was able to replicate artificial banana and cherry and shit. Like, root beer is one of those flavors that's, like, old-timey that still holds up. Whereas, like, cloves, black licorice, star anise, tamarind, anything that, like, is considered natural, I guess, is gross. Because, like, that's been the point of candy its entire existence, is, like, becoming everything that nature isn't. Like, we tried making fruit as sweet as we could, and it only got us so far, and we weren't satisfied, so we go candy.
Right.
And so we had to divorce as much of nature from it as possible to make it as succulent as possible.
Make your Halloween come to life. Twizzler has your tricks and treats with Twizzlers, the twist you can't resist.
What year is this? I feel like this is like yesterday.
Face horror beyond your wildest screams. Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights.
You know, not for nothing. Thank God Universal Studios keeps Halloween alive. I feel like, you know, Disney does their thing and they'll make it sort of Halloween-y with the pumpkins and stuff around their park, but this is a hot take and everybody's going to be like, nuh-uh, but I fucking hate the Nightmare Before Christmas movie because it feels more of a Christmas movie than a Halloween, and it's such a kick in the dick to have the Haunted Mansion co-opted into that Christmas movie every fucking year.
I agree with that.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Hot take?
Absolutely. I agree.
It's such a bummer. Like, whatever. I don't care if people want to argue if Die Hard is an action or a Christmas movie. there are some like Gage with his Oreos and ketchup. There are some tastes you should not try unless you're dangerously inebriated. And Christmas and Halloween are two tastes that don't go together. Christmas is like cinnamon and peppermint, and Halloween and warmth and spices and shit. And Halloween is like chocolate and caramel and grittiness and scariness and shit.
Yeah.
And I hate The Nightmare Before Christmas. God damn it, I hate that movie.
Now I do like The Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie.
I haven't seen Frankenweenie like recently enough to make a judgment, but I definitely did not watch Corpse Bride because it made me think of all the people I know who watch Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's true. It's Tim Burton. So.
And the thing about Nightmare Before Christmas is it feels like all of its fans are simply in love with its aesthetic over its anything else. Like it just feels like all the people who like Nightmare Before Christmas are like the Disney adults of like the goth genre. Like they grew up physically but still want to, dress like Jack Skellington and shop at Hot Topic and shit. FDO, stop liking that movie. It's not good for you.
Keep on sucking. Halloween break.
Which house do you want to go to first?
The cat lady. Trick or treat.
It's go time, kitty cats.
Get up. Like the doorbell rang.
Have a Kit Kat.
The cats answer the door.
There we go. Happy Halloween, everybody. That's the end of our 17-minute excursion that only took an hour and a half. So there's that for you. Thank you for joining us, me especially, because I'm here all the time, for our first Halloween episode. But Dee does ask a good question. Thoughts on candy corn? I'll take all. I feel like we all know how I'm going to feel about it.
I'd rather candy corn over those peanuts. Those weird, like,
the
orange
circus peanuts don't fall in with a holiday, though.
Yes, they do. They fall in with Christmas. I mean, a Halloween.
No, you're thinking of those terrible black and orange peanut butter candies. But by saying peanuts, you're bringing to mind those yellow circus peanuts that actually taste like banana. I hate candy corn. I feel like it's one of those old-timey candies that's like flavored old-timely, and that's why it's kind of like, nah. They fall in Halloween, really?
I love candy corn. I love circus peanuts.
Yeah, circus peanuts are Halloween because that's the only time I ever see them.
No fucking way. Again, whatever. Maybe not again, but like I never, ever.
FDO never sticks up for me, and he's sticking up for me right now.
This is bullshit. Because I got circus peanuts once. And I only remember because I remember coming home from that year's Halloween trick-or-treating and going like, what are these? And my parents were like, oh, they're circus peanuts. They're like candy. They look like peanuts and blah, blah, blah. I go, oh, I like peanuts. So I bit into it, and it tasted like banana. And I felt as betrayed as I did when someone told me that green olives were good. Spat it out immediately, then never saw one in my trick-or-treat bag again. I swear to God.
Oh, hi, Mark.
This is bullshit. I did not hate her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. I like the candy corns. If I'm going to eat a candy corn, it has to have the chocolate at the bottom of it.
That's not the same thing then.
I know. It's still called candy corn.
And the pumpkins are like Necco wafers. There's something that were... They reared their ugly heads somewhere around like the Civil War, and for one reason or another, they just proved immortal. Like there are some people and things that are just gods of probability that exist unharmed and unchanged for way too long. I feel like this is one of those situations.
The pumpkin pieces. Oh, yeah. The pumpkin ones that are like the candy corn.
It's the same shit. It's just a bigger thing of it.
But they taste different.
No, they fucking don't. No, they don't. Like
They
tricks
do.
are all the same. Fruity Pebbles are all the same. Like there are some things that are just the same. Candy corn and those pumpkins are the same basic glop thrown into molds. Doesn't taste anything different at all. Yeah, exactly. FDO at least knows he's being
not fooled. Hey, I mean, I'm fine being fooled. That's fine.
FDO goes, this tastes different, but I know it's not. Krista goes, that's definitely Gary Busey, even though it's a woman. Anyway, Ryan.
This candy corn tastes just like Gary Busey.
Yeah, she goes, is this Gary Busey? And I go, it's candy corn. And it's fucking disgusting. I slap it out of her hand. Ryan, thank you for being my guest on this episode, our first Halloween-themed episode. It's been a blast.
My pleasure.
Thank you also for bringing me this collection of Halloween commercials, because it's 90s commercials, off-brand or off-theme, generic commercials, easy to find, but like year or decade-specific Halloween-type content, it gets a little rough. So I'm glad we were able to run through the years like that and to see how really quickly, like, the spookiness disappeared, like, from the 90s to the 2000s.
It's gone. And happy almost birthday.
Yeah, happy almost birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's like Smithers from Malibu, Stacy. I want it. Anywho, yeah, thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you. We'll be back with more Halloween-related stuff. I'm going to find maybe some spooky games to play, because now is the month to do that shit. So, yes, I'm another October person, Gage. If you're a Halloween fan, this is the place to be in at least October, because we've got more to come for sure. Got
like and subscribe.
Hit subscribe. Hit like and subscribe.
Smash that bell or whatever.
Yeah, type of Juan in the chat. But no, there you go. Yeah, we'll play a spooky game or something, because I really want to lean into this, because Christmas people are annoying and Thanksgiving people don't exist. So
Rude.
We need to, like, it would be nice to have, like, let's just come together, Christmas people and Halloween people. Halloween people will take October 1st through November 14th. Christmas people can have as much of the rest of the years they want, because I will have stopped giving a fuck.
All of it. I was born on Thanksgiving, so, I mean, every 14 years, it's my day. Or 7 years. 7 years.
And tomorrow, my birthday is actually back on the original day of the week.
Ooh.
Original day of the week?
Yeah, that he was actually born.
Oh. That's the thing.
I was also born on a Thursday.
Numerology and all that good shit. Here's the thing. Like, we made up the calendar, we made up numbers, we made up this, we made up that. So when things come together, we go, oh my God, it was meant to be. Like, someone willed this. And like, yeah, it was us. We made all the shit.
Did it.
Coincidences happen.
Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did it, my friend.
Jinx.
That's all we got
You
for
owe
you.
me an
I
RC.
will see you on the next episode of FOP Radio. Thank you again, Ryan, and everybody who showed up. Smell ya later.
Bye.
Later. No reaction.
No reaction.
For the try to
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.